Hey everyone, we're here today in my 2001 Corvette Z06, where I'm going over the latest status on the quick steer or angle kit manipulation device, which will allow an angle kit to be installed on the C5 without having a negative impact on the traction control and stability control systems, otherwise known as active handling. So just going to give a quick primer. The lighting's a little off, so I apologize, but down here in the ashtray I've got a prototype board. Yeah, the lighting is not great, but it says calibrated no, hold to calibrate. And then I've got on my steering wheel a piece of wood zip tied, and then another phone zip tied to that piece of wood. And on that phone I've got a protractor app. This is an Android phone, and you can download this on the Google Play Store. And I've got it calibrated to the center position of the steering wheel, so it's all zeroed out, so you can see as I'm moving the steering wheel, the angle changes on the protractor tool, which is kind of cool, and I'm hoping it works out well. And I've got my steering wheel centered and everything at that 0 degree position, or at least as close as I can get it by eye, which is all I have to go off of. And then over here, I've got on my laptop a Tech 2 emulator showing, and then at the very top, the two values are the phase A and phase B inputs for the steering wheel position sensor. And I'm going to turn the wheel clockwise, and you can see that these values change. Then I go counterclockwise, and the values change. So one of the cool things here that it's showing is when I center this guy to 0 degrees, right? Takes a second to get there. All right, 0 degrees. And normally we should be at 2.5 volts on A and 0 volts on B. So what that says is that my steering wheel position sensor is not fully centered, which is okay. It's impossible to get it fully perfectly centered, in my opinion, having just replaced it recently. And so now what we can do is we can actually calibrate the device, the Arduino device. I was really hoping the lighting would be better so you can get a better feel for it, but I'm going to go ahead and see how this goes. So there's a button right here. You can cycle through the various menus. This menu I call raw data. So right now my steering wheel is showing us -4 degrees. So it's counterclockwise rotated 4.2 degrees off center for the steering wheel position sensor. So I can go in and I can long press the button on the calibration screen, enter calibration, release button, and now we are starting calibration. And the first thing to do is center the steering wheel, which we have already done, 0 degrees. And going back here, center steering wheel and press button. So press it, and it records the phase A and phase B values, voltage values, and then it cycles on to the next calibration position, which is 45 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the steering wheel and get it to sit at 45 degrees, hopefully. Just use my leg to help me out here. And then I'm going to go ahead and push the button once I get there. Okay. So then the next one is turn steering wheel to 90 degrees. So this is kind of an iterative process. I'm just going to start jumping through it a little bit. So 90 degrees. All right, there we are. All right, I push the button. Shows the values for a split second, and then it says turn steering wheel to 135 degrees. So same thing here, 135. I'm just going to show you what happens down here this time. It's kind of hard to do this with my leg. There we go. So it shows the phase A and phase B values. Then we go to 180. And I'm let's see. Okay, so the 180 is a little harder to get to. And if I'm being honest, that doesn't look like 180 to me, so I don't know if something is going on, but to me, I'm just going to eyeball 180. And it looks like about there. We're going to repeat 225, which on this will be 135, just the way that the protractor tool does its job. And then 270, which here is going to show up as 90. And last but not least, 315, so that's going to show up as 45 degrees. And once we get to this last value and push the button, calibration is complete. It saves the values on board to the Arduino so that they're not erased when power is removed. And then calibration is complete. So now it says calibrated yes, hold to recalibrate. So we can always recalibrate at a later time and it'll overwrite the default saved values. So here we are back to raw data. I'm going to just recenter the steering wheel. Bring this guy to 0 degrees. And so we should be able to see on here, yeah, we're pretty much right at 0 degrees. With some margin of error, of course. Basically demonstrating that the device is calibrated. Yeah, it's kind of, when the phone is showing 0 degrees, this device is hopping around between minus 0.2 and plus 0.2. So there we go. Then right now you can see on the Tech 2 screen, the best that I'm getting is it's not showing a full 2.5 volts, it's showing 2.45 as center. And then at the bottom end for phase B, the 0.04, that's the lowest it's going. So to me, that's representing 2.5 and 0 volts. So I'm going to turn the steering wheel clockwise, and you're going to see these values jump up. And at 90 degrees is where we have a maximum for phase A, and then a halfway for phase B. So I'll show you this here. We hold the wheel at 90 degrees. We are at 4.88 and 2.47. Then I keep going clockwise, and then phase A starts dropping down and phase B keeps increasing. And then as I get to 180 degrees, phase A will be at 2.5 and phase B will be at the maximum, which will be 4.88 or 4.86. So here we go. We are at 180. And then bring it back to center. There you go. That's where we were before. Alright, another cool feature I've got on here is if I do a long press on the button on this screen, this is what I call test mode. It's called logging mode because I'm kind of hijacking another feature. But then I release the button, entering logging mode, aka test mode for this case, and I can control the output of the device on and off. So this is kind of cool. When I go into that mode, it actually shuts off the output from the device, and so the car is seeing that there's no information from the steering wheel position sensor. And so as soon as I did that, you heard a beep. That was the car basically saying, okay, there's now a problem with the active handling system. And so there will be two fault codes. I think they're C1287 and C1288. And those are for the steering wheel position sensor. And so here you can see test output is off and it's at 0 volts. Steering wheel right now is 7.2 degrees. I can move it around. No big deal. And there is our phase A and phase B at 0 volts. So now I'm going to toggle the button to turn the output on. And so that voltage right now is going to output on phase A and phase B. So if I bring this down, so where I'm showing 0 volts on the device, I'm at that 0.04, but the output is on. So now as I go through a 360 degree turn on the steering wheel, it will change the output voltage. And as I get to 360, the output voltage increases to 5 volts. There you go. And then on here, we're at the maximum voltage I'm seeing on the Tech 2, which is 4.88. So then turn the steering wheel back. And you can see that the voltage is dropping on both phase A and phase B. And there you go. So I can again toggle the output on and off, and then I can just long press this button to exit the test mode and release the button, and now we're back. So center the steering wheel again, and here we are. And I can just clear these messages at this point. No big deal. And we are back. So here's a little overview. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to keep progressing with the design and hopefully soon go for a test drive. Thanks for watching.